Public personality and self-confessed traditionalist Jordan Peterson has had his fair share of criticism over the past few years, some warranted, some not. However, his thoughts on the recently discussed social credit score system are gaining backing of late, as he has compared it to a similar system in China. Today we're discussing Peterson's views on the topic amidst his claims it is way worse than anything Kafka ever imagined. Stay tuned. First up, Peterson has been giving his views on Elon Musk's Twitter takeover. As you will know by now, Elon Musk has recently completed his takeover of one of the world's foremost social media sites, but he hasn't done it quietly at all. Since rolling through the doors at Twitter HQ, Musk has cut thousands of jobs and also reinstated hundreds of the world's most controversial characters under the banner of free speech, including old JP. However, despite all the negative media attention of late, Twitter has continued to function and most people have stuck around. That is despite rumors of Musk instating an $8 charge for verified accounts in the near future. And this is something Peterson has recently spoken about, as he pointed to the fact that Twitter is still working. It seems as though the former University of Toronto professor, who has caught plenty of online hate of his own from ultra-left commentators despite not identifying as right-wing, also said we will see if he can continue to clean up the social media site. Of course, the site has come in for plenty of criticism due to the sheer amount of fake accounts before Musk took over. And Peterson continued by saying of Musk, "It seems to me that the evidence is quite clear that he not only has a good eye, but he is capable of learning. So he will experiment and he will learn from his experiments. We will see if he can clean up Twitter." What do you make of Peterson's words? Peterson has also given his thoughts on who he would like to see head the Republican Party for 2024. As we know, right now the only Republican candidate to formally announce their decision to run in the 2024 Republican Party presidential primaries is Donald Trump. However, considering his role in the January 6th riots in 2021, plus being involved in no fewer than 4 active criminal investigations into his activities while in office, it's safe to say there are probably better candidates out there. One of those candidates could possibly be Florida Governor Ron DeSantis, somewhat of a divisive figure, although he has yet to formally announce his intention to run. And DeSantis is Jordan Peterson's pick, due to the fact that he is less divisive than the former president. But he does carry some of Trump's positive qualities, mainly a forthright strength. According to Peterson, the Canadian sees DeSantis as a safer pair of hands. Let's be honest here, that isn't difficult, referring to him as a cautious administrator, while telling Piers Morgan outright that the 46th governor of the Sunshine State would be better than Trump. Peterson went on further by suggesting that Trump in office raises the political temperature to a dangerous degree, which given what happened in DC in January 2021 is somewhat of an understatement. The YouTuber and published author then went on to say, "I say that while trying to give the devil his due and not casting careless aspersions on his name." Who do you think would be the best choice for the Republican Party? Peterson has had his say on Kanye West next. Stay with us. After years of troubling online behavior, Kanye West once again hit the headlines recently as he took part in what most have described as anti-Semitic behavior. He had previously angered plenty of people back in October after being snapped in a shirt which read "White Lives Matter." On November 28th, the rapper, who is clearly unwell, stormed out of a podcast session with Tim Pool, a political commentator who back in 2019 described himself as a social liberal who supports Bernie Sanders. West had suggested that Jewish people control banks, politics, and media, but wasn't happy after receiving pushback from Pool, so he took it upon himself to leave the podcast. On December 1st, he, quite egregiously, praised former Nazi party leader and one of the worst human beings to ever walk the planet, Adolf Hitler, during a broadcast of InfoWars. In a retweet of Colin Wright's tweet, which showed Kanye leaving the session, Peterson explained that when Kanye's anti-Semitic behavior becomes a moral necessity, even in its subtler forms, hell is about to make its appearance yet again, while also describing Jewish people as canaries in the coal mine. Whatever is going on with Kanye West right now isn't good. The iconic rapper has displayed erratic behavior for years now, and the internet is no place for someone like that. The man needs help. Next up, Peterson has launched a wild attack on Aussie carrier Qantas. Peterson recently appeared down under on tour, but it appears he has a bit of a bone to pick with Australia's biggest airline, Qantas. He was incensed when he noticed the company's Acknowledgement of Country message prior to takeoff, which is designed to recognize Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander heritage, and advised them to stick to 1. Flying, and 2. Making money. Taking to Twitter to air his gripes, the Canadian explained that he could really do without the land acknowledgement propaganda delivered to me by a corporate behemoth, Qantas, before adding, "I'm sure I'm not the only one who feels that way." I mean, it seems like an odd thing to get bent out of shape about and acknowledging people who have had a pretty rough go of it. Definitely isn't the worst thing we've ever heard. Qantas revealed that they want to foster a shared national identity, and added that as the national carrier, we are uniquely positioned to connect people to the world's oldest living cultures through our domestic and international networks. As someone who's often in the public eye, Peterson should maybe adopt a pick-your-battles approach. What do you guys think? So what has he had to say about automated social credit scores? Peterson recently appeared on Sky News Australia in an interview with Rita Panahi, where he claimed that he believes Western countries may soon adopt an automated social credit and carbon use score without necessarily telling the public. The regular Joe Rogan guest believes that once the machines do take over, then we're in serious trouble, suggesting that it will be way worse than anything Kafka ever imagined. Asked by Panahi if what Australia did during COVID could help usher in our version of a social credit system, Peterson replied in the affirmative, telling his interviewer that it is highly probable. He then alluded to the fact that the regular Joe on the street has no idea what is going on, using his recent UK trip as an example. He explained that even the most astute people sitting in the House of Lords had only just become aware of the woke movement before suggesting that a digital passport would be a serious oversight. The Canadian believes that the world is quickly heading towards automation at a rate that we cannot control, sarcastically suggesting that it would be nice if the central government knows exactly what you spend on everything. He went on to use the example of airports, saying that nowadays you show your passports, but if a barrier doesn't open, you cannot exactly argue with the machine. He then terrifyingly pointed out that even though Kafka's envisioned world was a hellscape, at least they're human. What do you guys make of this? And finally, Peterson has compared the system to the one currently used in China. Many people are beginning to catch on to woke culture and how utterly damaging it can be to economic growth. Jordan Peterson knows better than most the dangers of this sort of thing. On the surface, gender and race quotas appear to be a good thing, and of course it is a positive to have a diverse workforce, but not to the detriment of the task at hand. Long gone are the days when the most qualified person gets the job. Now more than ever, your gender and race matters, which often leaves those who have studied and gained a wealth of experience along the way simply being ignored. Corporate Australia are now bidding to show everyone how committed they are to climate change via their condescending commitment to action on climate change, or adherence to environmental, social, and governance (ESG) performance metrics, as they are calling it. However, Peterson believes these are very dangerous and has compared it to the system in use in China, saying ESG scores, which can dramatically affect an enterprise's financial viability, are nothing less than the equivalent of China's damnable social credit system applied to the entrepreneurial and financial world. Peterson then advised CEOs to wake up, suggesting that by going along sheep-like, you are generating a veritable fifth column within your businesses. He then asked, "Are you really so blind, cowed, and cowardly with all your so-called privilege? Where do you guys stand?" As usual, thanks for dropping in on us today, and remember to tune in again next time when we will be discussing all sorts of other cool bits and pieces. And why not do us a favor by liking today's video, as well as sharing it with any Jordan Peterson fans you know of. Bye guys, see you in the next one.